Have you ever stopped to think that the person you're watching on a video call might not be real? It's a pretty unsettling thought, right? Well, today we're diving headfirst into the wild world of deepfakes, where that old saying, seeing is believing, is quickly becoming a really dangerous assumption.
And just so you know where we're getting our info, this whole explainer is based on the content from Chapter 6 of a tutorial by Virtualization Options LLC.
So, that brings us to the big question. Is seeing still believing? I mean, for basically all of human history, our own eyes were the gold standard of truth. But now, with AI that can generate incredibly realistic video, is that still true? Let's dig in.
Okay, let's start from the top. We're going to look at the rise of deepfakes and really get into what happens when video, something we instinctively trust, starts to lie to us.
So what exactly is a visual deepfake? Well, it's basically a video that's been artificially created or messed with to look totally authentic. But here's the really crucial part. Its whole purpose is to make it look like people are saying or doing things they absolutely never did. And you know, this tech is so darn effective because it plays on a basic human instinct. We're just wired to believe what we see with our own two eyes.
And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi concept or something only governments can do. The software, the tools to create these fakes are becoming shockingly easy to get your hands on. That means the threat isn't just coming from massive, well-funded organizations anymore. Nope, any motivated attacker can potentially cook up a pretty convincing fake.
So how are criminals actually putting this technology to use? It's time to open up the attacker's playbook. We're going to break down 4 of the most common ways that deepfakes are being turned into weapons.
All right, let's run through these. First up, live video call impersonation. Just imagine getting a real-time video call from your CEO, and she's asking for an urgent money transfer. Only it's not her. Then there are pre-recorded fake messages. You know, a seemingly innocent video that pops up in your inbox from a coworker needing a quick favor. Third, and man, this one is creepy, face-swapped meeting participation. This is where an attacker literally joins a confidential meeting disguised as someone else, just sitting there quietly soaking up secrets. And finally, you've got manipulated photo evidence, using fake pictures to build a believable story that's completely false.
Okay, I know. That probably all sounds pretty terrifying. But here's the good news. You are not powerless here. It's time to arm ourselves. Let's put together an investigator's toolkit, because you absolutely can learn how to spot these fakes.
What I love about this is how it breaks down the clues into 2 buckets. Over on the left, you've got the technical glitches. These are the small visual tells, like weird, unnatural blinking, shadows that just don't look right, or a face that's almost too smooth, you know? But on the right, and honestly, this is often way more important, are the contextual red flags. A sudden demand for a video call out of nowhere, unusually terrible video quality, an urgent, bizarre request. These clues about the situation are often your first and best line of defense.
And this right here, this might be the most important advice of all. Trust your gut. Your brain is an incredible pattern recognition machine, and it often picks up on tiny little things that just feel off, even if you can't put your finger on why. If a call feels wrong, it probably is. You've got to take that feeling seriously.
To really understand just how high the stakes are here, let's dive into a real-world case study. This is a story that, well, it cost one company an absolutely staggering amount of money. $25 million. That's how much money was stolen in just one deepfake fraud case back in 2024. Just let that number sink in for a second. This is not a theoretical problem. This is happening right now. So how in the world did they pull it off? The method was just chillingly smart. It all started with an email, supposedly from the CFO, asking an employee to jump on an urgent video call. Now on that call, the employee didn't just see the CFO. They saw other familiar colleagues too. Of course, every single one of them was a deepfake. This trick, using multiple fake people, created what psychologists call social proof. It's that tendency we all have to think something's right if we see a group of people doing it. Seeing all those trusted faces together just completely erased any doubt the employee had. So believing it was all legit, they made the transfer.
The huge takeaway from this whole mess is that we have to make a fundamental change in how we think. Just like it says here, seeing someone on video, even if it's a bunch of people you know, can no longer be considered absolute proof of who they are. We have to update the software in our brains.
So how do we even function in this new reality? Let's get practical. Let's build a defense plan. Here's exactly how you can protect yourself and your company.
It really all comes down to 4 pillars of defense. First, verify. That means if you get a high-stakes request, you have to confirm it through a completely separate channel, like calling a phone number you already have for that person, not one from the sketchy email. Second, stick to the procedure. Rules like needing 2 people to approve a big wire transfer are there for a reason. You never, ever bypass them, even if the CEO seems mad. Third, educate everyone. Create a work culture where it's not just okay, but it's expected for people to pause and ask for verification. And fourth, use the tech. Work with your IT folks to get defenses in place, like deepfake detection tools.
And really, this is the bottom line. That incredibly clever deepfake of your boss, it is completely powerless against a simple, unbreakable rule that says all big transfers need 2 approvals through 2 different channels. Your procedures are the firewall that this kind of psychological trickery just can't get through.
Which brings us right back to where we started, but this time with an answer. If you can't always trust your eyes anymore, what can you trust? Well, you can trust your process. You can trust verification. And you can definitely trust that gut feeling that tells you to slow down and double-check. In the world we live in now, that's what real security looks like.